Pick up your gear and open your chests. Throw on your armor and head out on a quest. Hey, hey, it's a brand new day. On the Sword Coast, your allies will help with blades and bows and magic as well. Hey, hey, heroes on their way. Fighting forever against overwhelming odds. Fighting together in favor of multiple gods. Idle champions of the forgotten realms. Idle champions, adventure never ends. Idle champions, get you all out there. Idle champions, you will say it again. Idle champions. From Waterdeep to Icewind Dale, head out to Chull or Shadowfell, hey, hey. Together we stay. Walk to the monsters, walk to the boss, walk to the right, it's never a loss, hey, hey. Bad guys to slay. Fighting forever against overwhelming odds. Fighting together in favor of multiple gods. Idle champions of the forgotten realms. Idle champions, adventure never ends. Idle champions, get you all out there. Idle champions, you will say it again. Idle champions.
Happy 2023, folks. Welcome back to Gaarawarr's Guide, the tutorial show, the first tutorial show of 2023. Today, we're going to be diving into the Champions of Renown, Year 5. Where are they at? They're down here somewhere. They put them all away, like, I don't know why it's so far. Or maybe I missed it already. Nope, I missed it already. They're in the store somewhere. There, no, that's 4. There it is. There's your 5. Okay. All right, this pack, folks. This thing with all the stuff in it. This one. This is what we're talking about today. So we're gonna cover the Dungeon Master, Valentine, Daub, Widdle, and Nordom. We're gonna talk about how each of those champions works for those people who may have picked up the All-Star Pack or who may be thinking about the All-Star Pack. Plus, it's just a good, whenever they do these, it's just a good way to come back and talk about 5 champions that maybe we haven't talked about in a while. These are all recent champions that just came out last event year. I know it sounds weird to say event year, because event years are different from like how many years the game has been out. Like, we're in event year 6 right now, but that means the game's been out 5 years. It's because, you know, before the game had been out a year, event year 1 happened, right? So it's all event year is always a year ahead of everything else. So we're going to talk about these today. We've got a code for that. As always, you can copy paste the code from chat. If you know, normally 12 characters, there's a little button on the left if you're typing it in that takes it to 16. Champs of Renown, year 5, 4 an Electrum, 4 an Electrum chest. Yay! With me today in the mod pod doing all the back end stuff is Martin. Martin will be grabbing your questions from chat. Keep in mind, in this show, the first hour is me doing a lot of talking. And the second hour is when I answer the questions. Because this is tutorial focused, the Q&A goes to the second half. But you can ask your questions at any time, like I see. Nakov just asked a question. That's great. I've got it here in the document. Martin grabbed it, because Martin's awesome. And I will answer it, in the second half of the show. So, try to remember, though, as it says way down below there, put the question colon before your questions to have them added to the Q&A that happens in the second half of the stream. It's like I try to be helpful and put all the information on the stream for you. So, yeah. So, let's talk about these champions. I didn't put them... Oh, I forgot to change his outfit. Back to the original. There's the original Dungeon Master. So I'm going to do it in the order I put them out here, even though normally I go like, well, no, you know what? I'll do bench slot order. We can do bench slot order. All right, let's talk about Widdle first. Widdle joins us from the champions, from the Heroes of the Plains. Oh, there's so many different names. Widdle. Widdle is a... Oh, I got to turn this off. Widdle is a Dhampir Gnome Wizard. Dhampir Gnome Wizard. We always get this question. What's the difference between a Dhampir and a vampire, Gaarawarr? So I'm just going to pre-address this. Dhampirs are wetter. Chaotic neutral, the roles are healing, support, and speed. We'll see in a moment. Healing is really triggered off the ultimate, so don't think of it like a constant heal. But it is still has a tag that's still going to help you with a champion like Krydle, who likes that healing tag, even if there's no healing coming up. So again, Heroes of the Plains. They come from the Heroes of the Plains multiverse of streams. Basic attack. Now, this is a wizard. I know they're holding a blunderbuss. Consider, this confuses some people. Consider the blunderbuss to be their magical focus, right? It's their magical focus. So, Blunderbolt. Widdle fires a firebolt from her enormous blunderbuss, damaging a random enemy. So, the base attack is a magic attack. We can tell by this little icon up here. And it's going to hit a random enemy. That kind of stuff is good to track. It's just, to know. Is it random? Is it closest? Is it an AoE? All that kind of stuff. Even for a support champion, it's good to know. All right. So right out the bat, Widdle, I can tell you, works. Almost just about everything they do is based off Vampiric Gaze. Vampiric Gaze is the main ability. It's the first ability here. Oh, they do share a seat. Dang it! One day, Codename Entertainment will deliver my dream of a doppelganger who can mimic the abilities of any champion not currently in your formation, and then we get to mess around with the shenaniganry that is that is same seat combos. Apologies, folks. But just in general, that's a whole other tutorial show. Moving on. Vampiric Gaze. So Vampiric Gaze is everything at the core of Widdle's kit. So understanding just this basic ability is going to help you be good with Widdle. You'll be a little bit better than if you didn't know anything about it. Vampiric Gaze. Widdle charms those adjacent to her with her Vampiric Gaze, increasing their damage. So the key here is charms those adjacent to her. So it's anybody and everybody adjacent in this current setup. It's just 2 champions. But this would be kind of a good placement for Widdle in this formation layout, because she would be adjacent to lots of people, and thus would be buffing lots of people. And because there's other effects that are going to be based off this adjacency, based off Vampiric Gaze, it's a good placement. It's a good placement key to note. These are the types of things you're looking for when you're trying to figure out how to build a good formation, right? Hurry up now. Champions affected by Widdle's Vampiric Gaze, which means champions adjacent to her, have a 25% chance to immediately reset their base attack cooldown after they attack. Free attacks. You get attack. You get an attack. You get an attack. Everybody gets an attack. 25% chance for free attacks. 25% chance. There is some shenanigan. I'll tell you right now, yes, there's some shenaniganry with this. Yes, you can get it up to guaranteed chance to attack immediately after an attack, which means you're just always attacking. Yes, that's a thing. So just know, yes, this starts off at 25% chance, goes up from there with other champions combined with them. Tasty Friends. Champions affected by Widdle's vampiric gaze look extra tasty to the enemies. Each affected champion increases the monster's spawn speed by 10%, stacking additively. Oh boy, here we go again with this. Increases by 10%. This makes them come out faster. This makes them come out faster. Yeah, CNE, speed blog, please. This isn't the correct terminology, but this is the terminology they've decided to use in the game. So just know that this makes them come out faster. This makes them come out faster. And by come out faster, I mean they come from the point on the right-hand side where my mouse is, where they show up to the point where they're starting to be damaged by all the things. It makes them move that tiny little distance a lot faster, which you would think isn't really a speed effect, but it is. Oh, but it is. Okay. Then we need specialization. So as you've seen so far, everything based off adjacency. The more people adjacent you have, the faster enemies are going to come out. The more people have a chance for an extra attack. This means Widdle is great. Put it with on-hit debuffers. So anybody that when they attack something, they apply a debuff. Have them adjacent to Widdle. They're applying their debuff potentially faster with that 25% bonus attack. Specialization paths are stat based, but the effect is the same. It's just what determines the specialization you choose is the stat combination. So the effects of Widdle's abilities on champions affected by vampiric gaze are increased by 50% on champions with a pair of stat scores that are 12 or higher. And what you have to determine is, are the people around you, primarily, first and foremost, is your primary DPS that's adjacent to Widdle, Strength or Dex, Intercon, Wisdom or Charisma. One of those stats has to be 12 or higher. Once you figure out your primary DPS, then you look at anyone else adjacent and see if they also apply to one of the ones that your primary DPS applies to. Then you pick that option. I know that's confusing. I know they're like, oh, this targets 2 people. Go with the higher one, right? No. This is one of those traps. This is where I've been petitioning for a while now. Champions information targeted. I want a list of the names. I want a list of the names of who it's targeting. That way you know if it's targeting your DPS or not. Because if it's not, if the highest number, that 5 out of 6 might be everyone but your DPS, and then this is wasted. So make sure you're picking what your DPS matches with. Okay, I'm just going to pick one at random because I don't care at the moment. After I went through all that, I don't care. Well, I mean, for the purpose of this, the important thing is you have to make sure that that's your DPS. All right, only as slow as the fastest link. No, this isn't a Zelda reference. Champions affected by Widdle's vampiric gaze have a base attack cooldown equal to the quickest of the affected champion. Another attack speed increase. So what this means is whoever has the fastest attack speed of the people adjacent to Widdle shares that attack speed with everyone else adjacent to Widdle. So if we look at Nordom, we need to do this in a unique way. 5.5 seconds, right? And then Valentine, 7 seconds. 7 seconds. So, but if I put Valentine next to Widdle and Nordom's next to Widdle, Valentine is now 5.5 seconds. So Widdle, not only does Widdle give you that chance to attack, like get a free attack after your basic attack, it also speeds everyone up based off whoever is the fastest next to them. So we've got a 9-second cooldown on Dungeon Master, but if I put Dungeon Master here, 5.5 seconds. Dob coming in at 9 seconds. Wow, this is slow attack speed group. And now 5.5 seconds, right? So this is fantastic. Once again, And now it's an extra, and yet another way that you can help spread those on-hit debuffs faster, because everybody's going to share a fast attack, the fastest potential attack speed adjacent to Widdle. All right. I want to say that's it. Yeah, and then the ultimate. Okay, so the ultimate is where the healing comes in. It's Vampiric Bite. Widdle leaps out and ferociously bites a random enemy, dealing enormous damage. She then leaps back into the formation where her Vampiric Bite heals her and everyone affected by Vampiric Gaze for an amount equal to her own max health. So right now she's only got 880 HP because we don't have any tanks in the formation sharing health. So this is really a heal for squishies. This still targets a heal for squishies. It's not even going to help. Like, she has less health than Dungeon Master. How is that? Wow. Than most people. She's squishy. So it's not going to be a huge heal, but it is a heal. And it is manipulative. Like, if I'm about to heal, I can put her near people that are rearrange my formation real quick, as long as the whole thing, you know, isn't, if possible. I can move here near some people that need a heal, and then I can hit the heal button. It comes back, it heals, the green things go around, and then I can move people back to wherever I needed them. Potentially, right? Sometimes if your formation's under attack, it's hard to move people around. But it is a possibility. I have done it before. So just know it's positional healing. It's positional healing and only on ult cooldown. Yep. Item-wise, she has a pair of Damage All Champions items because she is basically full support. She has the Vampiric Gaze boost. So this is the damage boost. She has Tasty Friends. So this is her speed item, folks. This is her speed item. The more you raise this, the bigger the increase in the speed gains. I'm going to come back to that. We have an ultimate attack damage, and we have ultimate cooldown. Of course, this is a big deal because she gets her heal on that, right? Coming back to the speed item. Widdle's speed effect, they didn't cap the item at a number, you know, where you can only upgrade to a specific number. They didn't do that, like an item level. That happens on speed items sometimes. However, there isn't a technical cap to how high you can raise this item, or to how high you can increase the speed effect, but there is a functional cap. Because it's talking about the transition time from the enemy loading on screen to moving to that damage point, there is a functional cap of 1 animation frame. Now, we don't have a way of knowing what that is, because the problem with capping something at an animation frame is everyone's system that you're running this on could potentially be animating it at a different frames per second. In fact, you can manipulate frames per second in the game. So, So just know that there is a cap here. You don't necessarily have to run this through the roof. It's, you know, like a Briv or a Human, you don't have to put an outrageous amount in it. Plus, this is a combination thing. Deacon has a speed effect like this. Melf has one of the 3 speed effects that's like this. So, you know, getting I put a shiny on here. I got it up a bit. It works pretty great. I got no complaints. But I'm not necessarily dumping tons of stats into it to try to see if it's, just to make sure that it's capped, because it probably is close enough, right? But just know there is a functional cap, so don't go hog wild trying to boost Widdle's levels. Feats. We have Damage All Champions. We have Vampiric Gaze. A lot of it. A lot of Vampiric Gaze. Imagine that. We have Hurry Up Now. Now, Hurry Up Now, remember, that's this... where is it? That's the 25% chance. You could actually boost that with a feat if you wanted. So like I said, there's ways to raise this. There's a feat for that. Tasty Friends, these are the speed feats. So I use both of the speed feats with that. And again, I feel like I'm going pretty fast. And then there's a constitution. There's a constitution. This specifically, this constitution feat, if we come over here, these are the types of things you look for with patrons. This is specifically allows her to be used in patron Vajra stuff. So Widdle is patron Vajra compliant if you slap in that constitution feat. All right, that's Widdle. That's Widdle. Widdle's got some confusing skins. Like, hey, this is the one I have. Turns her into a Rougarou. So then she's a Rougarou, Dampier Gnome Wizard. And sure, why not? Doesn't actually change her race into that, but visually it's fun. Visually it's fun. I'll switch it back so I don't confuse people. People get real confused by that. All right, next up, Valentine. Valentine joins us from the Black Dice Society. If you didn't see the announcement, Fen from the Black Dice Society is arriving on Wednesday. This coming Wednesday, January 11th. January 11th. For anybody watching the VOD. So we're going to have more Black Dice Society members as of Wednesday. Half-Elf Sorcerer Reborn, because, you know, weird stuff happens in the mists. Yeah, we'll just say it. We'll leave it there. Neutral alignment. Now, this is what we, you know, there's not a, you don't see a thing on the left, you don't see a thing on the right. This sometimes gets referred to neutral. What it means is it's neutral. So on both axes of the alignment system, Valentine is neutral. Basic attack is Mind Sliver. Valentine attacks a random enemy with a mental magic attack, which deals damage and has a chance to stun them. So a bit of a crowd control when it hits, but again, not attacking super fast. Usually a little faster right now because we're next to Widdle. I believe, right? Oh no, she actually has, yeah, a little faster. Normally it's like 7 seconds. So just an occasional thing. I wouldn't rely on it too much, but just know it's there, so it'll work with champions who like crowd control effects, like Lucius. Occasional multiplicative bonus. Okay. Starting right off with the fun stuff. Trigram, the aberrant spirit in Valentine's brain. Yep. Told you. Weird stuff in the mists. Telepathically reaches out to the other champions. For each positional formation ability affecting Valentine, she increases the damage of all champions who have the DPS roll. This needs to all be capitalized, CD. Who have the DPS roll by 100% stacking multiplicatively. That's the good way. Yeah. So you want lots of positional formation abilities affecting Valentine. They have a nice overlay for this that they created when Valentine came out. All the arrows pointing in. This means positional formation abilities hitting Valentine. Right now we have one. We have one. Can we? I don't think we have anybody else in this formation who's. We haven't leveled people up yet. We'll find out later. Right now we have one. You want lots. You want more than one. You want at least two to get the multiplicative going. But yeah, the more the merrier. The more the merrier. And things are going to be based off this. So let's keep reading. Socialite. Valentine duplicates any positional formation abilities that are affecting her. So again, you're trying to get as many as possible on her. She then a jet flying over, that's odd. She then duplicates them to champions in the formation with the DPS roll. So this means, yes, you want to focus as many positional formation abilities onto her as possible, because she's going to buff the DPS that way. But then she's going to just make it even nicer by then throwing all of those onto the DPS. So even if the DPS didn't have any positional formation abilities, and you focused them all on Valentine for some reason, they'd get them all. They would transfer them all over. Now, this doesn't have to just be one way. Like your DPS could also be getting them all. Guess what? If the receiving champion already has the ability is instead boosted by 1%. So it just makes it better. Just makes it even better. So the ideal situation here is that you give every positional formation ability both to Valentine and your primary DPS. And then she boosts it for them. Now, there's a note here. This happens after Artemis's observation ability, so the bonus, you know, if you're like going, oh, Valentine and Artemis together, which is what we kind of thought before she fully launched. Nah, doesn't really do that much. But is a thing for everybody else and is a lot of fun. A Life of Leisure. Valentine increases the formation's gold fine by 100% for each positional formation ability affecting her. Ooh. Stacking multiplicatively. You know where I'm going with that one. So again, the more PFAs, as I like to refer to them, that are hitting her, the more damage you're doing, but also the more gold you're getting in the good way. That actually makes Valentine great in Azaka farming. So that manipulative gameplay of Azaka gold farming, just getting just 2 or 3 stacks on Valentine can sometimes be better than some of the other champions that you might have in your formation. So good times all around with Valentine. Specializations, we have All Hail the Godbrain. This boosts Trigram's pre-stack damage increase by 25%. So if you end up having a lot of positional formation abilities, you would go here. I want to say, God, man, I haven't done the math on this in a while. I could have sworn it was like, if you have like 8 or 9, you go with this. I'll let chat help in with that because I honestly don't remember. It's been too long since I remember the math here. It's a lot, but you can always test it out. My Loyal Bodyguard. This is specifically for use with Tatiana. Barefoot Monkey says 10 stacks. I'm going to trust that. I knew it was a lot. Valentine. If Valentine is affected by Tatiana's faithful friend, its effect is increased by 200%. So this is an interaction with another Black Die Society member. Pretty solid interaction when it happens. If you can't get 10, this is usually the way to go. If you're running Tatiana. Family Business. So this is Life of Leisure. Total gold fine increased by 200%. So if you're running that Azaka farm and that's why you're bringing Valentine in, go into the family business, folks. Go into the family business. I'm just going to select that because, why not? I don't have Tatiana. I'm not building lots of positional formation abilities for this demonstration, so we're good. Anything else? Nope, that's it. And that's enough, folks. There's a lot going on there, and it gets real wild. Ultimate attack is the Arms of Hadar. In the arms of Hadar, take me away. I mean, Hadar will. Inky black tentacles erupt from Valentine's mouth and hands. That's an image. Targeting the closest enemy and those around it, dealing damage and stunning them for 4 to 8 seconds. So random stun duration. While stunned, they take an additional 1000% damage from all sources. So not only do you get crowd control, you also get increased damage. And it is an AoE. So this is fantastic when everything is stacked up on your tank and you're just like, let's clear that wave. And you hit the button and they're all stunned and they're all taking 1000% more damage. It's pretty great. I'm waiting. I was waiting to clear the boss level so I could demonstrate. It's going to be a little difficult to demonstrate, but yeah. Okay. Watch. Oh, black stuff. Yep, there we go. It goes real fast, but it's real creepy. It's real creepy. Item-wise, we get a damage all champions item, but then we go straight into abilities. So, pretty good itemization here. Let's boost Trigram, straight up. Let's boost Socialite, straight up. Let's boost Life of Leisure. This is the gold find. So you get to boost all 3 of her primary functions. And then there's ultimate attack damage and ultimate cooldown. Feat-wise, again, damage all champions. There's some straight-up gold find feats here if you want. There's Trigram boosts. If you're running that. There's Socialite. There's Life of Leisure. I'm just going to tell you, folks, the Life of Leisure with the 25% gold find. That's why I have that there for Azaka farming. There's also some stat scores. So, Int, Intelligence +1. This is to qualify you for Strahd. However, just know that if you have Nahara, who is also a Black Dice Society member, Nahara, if you use Nahara in any Strahd adventure, she can pull in every Black Dice Society member. So this is really just exists in case you don't have Nahara or you just want to use Valentine without Nahara. Okay, in Strahd. And then Strength +1, this qualifies you for Zerial patron stuff. Okay, so lots of patron qualifications with Valentine. So again, support Gold Find Champion. I don't think I went over that part. Support Gold Find Champion. All right. Next up, man, what do you say about the Dungeon Master? Dungeon Master. This is the from the 80s cartoon, folks. This is the character. I'm the Dungeon Master, your guide to the world of Dungeons and Dragons. So this was the big anniversary, like 100th champion wildness. So human wizard, over 1,000 years old, and you'll note stats. I don't know, they're up there. I want to say functionally they're like 18 or 19, but it's basically just, yeah, because here's the thing, doesn't matter for the most part. The key with Dungeon Master and the very first ability is their level 0 ability, which means that it applies before you level them up. Dungeon Master is eligible to start in all adventures, even if the patron, variant, or other restrictions would say otherwise. The key word here is eligible to start in all adventures. It doesn't mean they're immune from being removed from an adventure based off an adventure's rules while the adventure's going. It just means you can always bring them in. They're always available. Always. And it's just, yeah, it's pretty fantastic. Healing, support, and gold find. The healing here is in the form of temporary HP. They like to throw that under the healing roll. Basic attack, magic missile. Dungeon Master fires white rays at a random enemy. It's very slow. Again, magic attack. All right, let's start leveling Dungeon Master up. I want to be careful here. There's something I don't want to... Okay, we're going to go there. All right. Patience, young ones. Dungeon Master... Oh, no, I can't even trigger that other thing in this adventure. Oops. Dungeon Master increases the damage of all champions by 100% for each champion in the formation that is 20 years or younger, stacking multiplicatively. If the sum of the 6 youngest champions' ages is 100 years or less, the bonus is increased by 400%, but post-stack, so the boring way. So Dungeon Master wants to be used with younger champions. There aren't a lot of them in the game currently. When Dungeon Master came out, we were like, oh, this kind of sets them up to then add all of the other kids from the TV show, but that hasn't happened, and who knows if it will. So just know that Dungeon Master is looking for anybody 20 or younger. Yeah. Words of encouragement. Dungeon Master adds an amount of... This amount varies. Temporary hit points to the entire party upon entering an area when Dungeon Master is present. When Dungeon Master is present. That's a cue that Dungeon Master isn't always going to be in your formation, which we're getting to. But just know that it's, as you switch areas, you pop a shield. You pop the shield. In certain cases. So, Disappearing Act. Upon entering a new area, there's a 50% chance that Dungeon Master just doesn't show up, but instead is replaced by a frightened Uni the Unicorn. Right there, look folks, on the left side of the screen, there's a frightened Uni the Unicorn. That would mean when we loaded into this, the shield didn't pop. While Dungeon Master is away, the formation's gold find is increased by an amount. If you return to a previously completed area, Dungeon Master is always with the formation. So, boom, we're hopping back. And he's there! Yay! But if we go back forward... hey, that actually triggered them to be back. That's odd. It shouldn't let me game the system like that, but it did. I'll take it. I'll take it. So yeah, those are the base abilities. Here are the base specializations. Where did he go this time versus Fear Not champions? Where did he go this time is the chance Dungeon Master doesn't join the formation is increased to 75%. And gold find is also increased by 100%. So if you want more gold, you go to the left spec. Fear Not champions, the chance Dungeon Master doesn't join the formation is decreased to 25%. So he's going to be around more often. And the temporary hit points are increased by 100%. So this is like your survivability spec. You want him in, you want him buffing, you want him everybody's super survivable, you go Fear Not champions. If you just want more gold, if you're a newer player and you're not hitting the champion upgrade soft cap and you don't even know what that is, more gold tends to be nice. Okay. There is a third hidden specialization that only triggers in certain circumstances, and it is the strength of Dungeon Master. It is what makes Dungeon Master, not just and it is this. Dungeon Master is available in every adventure and variant. As we all know, variants come with restrictions, and sometimes those restrictions prevent some champions from joining, from being eligible in that variant. Dungeon Master can always go in. When you are in a restricted variant like that, a third specialization pops up on the left-hand side called Guest Star. Dungeon Master picks someone who was not eligible and makes them eligible if you pick that specialization. So Dungeon Master brings in someone who was not eligible. If you have a bench slot where no one was eligible from, like everyone in that slot was marked out, Dungeon Master is going to pick someone from that slot. If you have multiple like that, it will be from a slot where no one was available. Otherwise, if someone was available from every slot, then it's just going to be a random selection from the people who weren't available. So there is a little bit of way to know at least maybe which slot that champion's going to come from. Otherwise, it's going to be random. So, but it's for that adventure. You can re-roll your specialization. It doesn't change. The only way to get it to change, there's this whole thing that I do not recommend. Oh, God. I do not recommend. Where you bring Dungeon Master in, you level him up to 100, you see who it is, you restart, you bring Dungeon Master in, you do it, level him up to 100, you see who it is. If it's not who you want, you restart, and you do that until you get who you want. Oh, folks. Tried it once. Spent like a half an hour re-rolling. I don't recommend that. Dungeon Master, it's just, I really feel like he's that option. He's like, hey, let's see, Dungeon Master, show me who you could bring in. Oh, yeah, I couldn't use that. Great. And then you're both in. Otherwise, no. And then go move on to somebody else, right? So, I don't recommend the re-rolling thing. But you do you. So that is the real strength behind Dungeon Master, is that combination of you can bring him in everywhere and you can bring in someone else. That being said, I did use him recently in a variant just on his own with Fear Not champions with the shields, because it was one of those variants where everybody in the party is taking like half their max health in damage. So I just brought Dungeon Master in. I maxed out his shields. And I didn't use any tanks with health share. And Dungeon Master kept the entire party alive. It was fantastic. Loved it. So there are other use case scenarios for Dungeon Master, but just know the biggest one is that third specialization. Okay, Ultimate. The Ultimate is also unique. Also very unique. Invigorate. Dungeon Master waves his hands, and the ultimate ability with the longest remaining cooldown immediately recharges. So over here, 123 seconds, 80 seconds. If I pop both of these at the same time, Arms of Hadar would have the longest remaining cooldown. I hit this, it immediately refreshes Arms of Hadar, so I can use Arms of Hadar again right away. That's what's going on. The cooldown for this ultimate is then set to the time the recharged ultimate had left. So it takes on the cooldown. Dungeon Master increases the damage of all champions in the formation for half of the time the ultimate is cooling down. So it is a ultimate recharge and a damage boost. Unfortunately, it doesn't tell us how much it increases the damage. Oops. But that's what's going on. So if I was really, you know what? I'm going to wait. Because this has a really cool interaction. Obviously, if he's on the screen, he waves his hands and it does the thing. But folks, how does he wave his hands if he's not on the screen? Does this go away? Or can you even use it again? Stay tuned. Stay tuned. Do we get Uni? All right, we got to wait for Uni to come out. Item-wise, increase the damage of all champions. Increases patience young ones. Increases words of encouragement. This is the temp HP shield, so this is... There's a reason this one's golden epic for me. It's because, hi, give me all the shields. Give me all the shields. Then this is increases the effect of Disappearing Act. So this is the gold find bonus, right? And then this is increases the effect of Dungeon Master's Invigorate ability. Well, this is supposed to be the damage bonus on Invigorate, but again, it doesn't tell us. It doesn't tell us what's going on. So we don't really know how functional that is. I don't know. It's Dungeon Master. Dungeon Master is a lot of feat-wise, increase the damage of all champions. We've got Patience Young Ones. We've got Words of Encouragement. We've got Disappearing Act. So a variety of feats. A variety of feats for you to select. Dungeon Master. Oh, I did Widdle. Widdle has a Valentine. Does have a skin. There's a dark Valentine. Dungeon Master has the skin that I'm gonna put back on. The Archmagi. Dungeon Master. I like the hood. That's really what it comes down to. I like the hood. Look, if you're gonna be walking around adventuring, hoods up is nice, especially in a white. Like, it's not gonna get super hot. I may have put way too much thought into this as someone with a shaved head. All right. On to another interesting champion. Nordom, the backwards Modron. Yes, folks, the champion that's name is literally Modron backwards. It's gonna be interesting to see how many people today I learned that. Nordom is a Modron fighter, non-binary, because they're a construct type of thing. They're not a construct, they're a Modron, but you know. Lawful neutral, support, full support. Ranged attacks, Gear Spirits. Nordom simultaneously fires 2 crossbows at the closest 2 enemies. So 2 separate enemies, which is interesting. I don't know if we have anybody that does that. AoE, but just 2 separate enemies? Who'da thunk? Nordom's first ability is Form Orderly Rank, so Nordom increases the damage of all champions in the column ahead of him by a large amount. I'm going to move back here because, hey, look, see? This is how Valentine's numbers change. Boom. 2, 1, 2, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0. Rule of Law. Nordom increases the effect of Form Orderly Rakes by 100% for each lawful champion in the formation, stacking multiplicatively. So Nordom likes to be in formations with lawful champions, and you can see over here, there's only 2 of those right now, so we don't get a huge multiplier, but It's the better than nothing. And that's just boosting form orderly ranks. So you don't have to remember any other placement positioning. You just know it's about form orderly ranks. Specializations, piercing bolts versus explosive bolts. Piercing bolts, whoever gets hit by the attack, their basic attack, take 100% more damage for the next 10 seconds. So double damage for 10 seconds. But this stacks up to 2 times additively. So up to 200% damage. And the timer resets if it applies again. So that timer reset if it applies again is great in this situation where we're attacking. There's only one enemy. We're constantly resetting the timer. Well, unless he spawns zombie kobolds. We're constantly resetting the timer on the debuff, so it's constantly being reapplied. Which is nice. Explosive bolts. Nordom's Gear Spirit's attack explode upon impact, pushing the target back a short distance. So this would be a knockback. Knockbacks can be nice, but sometimes they can be not nice. If you're relying on stacking up, like your formation being under attack to stack up ramping buffs, knocking the enemy back can turn that off. So a lot of the times I'm going piercing bolts because I don't want to lose that. I don't want to lose that functionality. But you just know, if you need some knockbacks, you got them. Okay. Now here's the big thing for Nordom. Nordom is very specialized. Like, as you can see, there was really only one buff, form orderly ranks, and a way to buff that buff. And now we come to their big thing. Nordom has a very... Oh, hold on. Uni the Unicorn is in the formation, folks. Uni the Unicorn, I repeat, in the formation. So we're going to look at... we're gonna pop Arms of Hadar, and I'm going to show you how this refreshes. Remember, Dungeon Master waves his hands. Keep your eyes on the left side of the screen. Arms of Hadar. Dungeon Master. Oh, hi. See that, folks? He just kind of goes, hey, and refreshes it. I love it. They 100% could have just refreshed your ultimate. They could have just done that. But they went the extra step to make Dungeon Master kind of poke his head out and go, I'm still here. And do the thing from the side of the screen. And I love it. And I love it so much. Oh my god. Okay. Yes, I am easily amused. More people should be easily amused. All right, back to Nordom. Nordom's kind of key niche is leveling up your Modron cores. So Modron core toolbox. Nordom increases the amount of experience gained on the Modron core attached to his adventuring party when completing new areas by a %. This percent can vary. So it starts off small, and you can raise it with item levels because he's got an item for that. And it makes you helps you upgrade, level up your Modron core faster. How much faster? I mean, it depends on how many item levels you put in. Currently, I have it by 275%. So 3.75. Instead of gaining 1 experience, I'm gaining 3.75 per level. So yeah, that's a good amount. But I've also pumped a lot of item levels into it, right? So, but the key here is it's extra. It's going to help you level your Modron core faster. That's Nordom's niche use scenario. You may use him for other things, but really it's like, hey, let's grind out my Modron core, and he really shines there with the right gear. The ultimate is one of my it is my favorite visual ultimate in the game. I almost said one of, but no. It is my favorite visual ultimate in the game. Is everybody ready? There's a reason I stayed on this screen. Here we go, folks. The Frequent Modron March. A multitude of Modrons march from left to right over 15 seconds. That's a lot of time. Pushing all enemies back a short distance and dealing ongoing massive damage as they pass. This is a screen-wide damage over time ultimate with a knockback. Enjoy. Oh, are they done? Oh. It's so long, folks. Oh my god, I love it. Constant knockback, constant damage. Fantastic for hit-based enemies. And if you've got the bud for it, armor-based ones too. Because it's just constantly doing damage. Constantly doing damage. Alright. Items. Increase damage all champions. A pair of them. 4 mortally ranks, because that's really the only buff. And then the Modron Core Toolbox. Right? This is why I dumped a lot of item levels and got a golden, just because, why not? Ultimate attack damage and ultimate cooldown reduction, which actually it goes up a lot. Oh man, I am capped on that. Oof, I need a shiny there. I'd get a bunch of item levels back. Feat wise, damage all champions, 4 mortally ranks, rule of law, so you can if you've got a lot of lawful, you can really boost that up. The toolbox feat, obviously I have that in. So a little more limited on the feats, but also a little more limited on the abilities. So they stay focused on what they know. They stay focused on what they know. Time for Dob, folks. A little Dob will do you. Dob joins us from the Ox Venturers Guild. Half-orc bard. Sits in the support and gold find roles. Yeah. Basic attack is magic. Thunder wave. Dob leaps to the closest enemy and attacks with a wave of thunder, knocking them back. So hops out. Thunder wave. And then hops back. As bards like to do. Okay. Traveling entertainer. Let me preface this. If you have Paulton and you understand Paulton as a champion, Dob is Paulton 2.0. It's very, they work almost exactly the same, but Dob is an upgrade with an extra ability. Yeah. So just know Dob Paulton functionally work very similar. Traveling entertainer. Dob increases damage of all champions not next to him by an amount. So you don't want Dob near your DPS. Busking. Dob increases gold find by 30% for each champion next to him, stacking multiplicative. So, you want Dob, if you're worried about gold find, you want Dob adjacent to as many people as possible. Yeah. Just not your DPS, right? So, primary formation placement key, not next to the DPS. Secondary formation placement key, next to as many people as possible otherwise. Okay. These are the two things that are basically Paulton. It's just a copy paste of Paulton. Offshore accounting. There's a lot going on here, but it's good. It's real good. At the transition to each new area, there is a 25% chance that Dob sets the champion's gold amount to 0. The gold amount is up here in the top left. It's this number that's ticking up, 8 point something E77. Sets it to 0. Runs away with all your money. And gains deposit stacks equal to the exponent of the lost gold. The exponent is the E, is the number after the E. So if Dob runs away right now, I get 70-something stacks. Deposit stacks, okay? Dob increases both the damage increase of Traveling Entertainer and the gold find bonus of Busking by 10% for each deposit stack, stacking additively. You want him running away with your money, because then it gives you more damage and makes you more money. I know in the moment, it's like, oh my god, all my money went away. It's okay. Dob is the literal, you gotta spend money to make money champion. Yeah. The number of deposit stacks is capped at 25 times the highest area completed in the current adventure. So the further you go, the more he can help you by taking from you. When you do this transition, you will see him disappear. Gold will funnel down from that thing to him, and he runs off like a bandit. So watch for that. Watch for that at the top left. It's hilarious every time. I love it every time. I'm always like, oh, there he goes again. Yes. All right, specializations. There are 4 different options here, folks. This one's real easy. You pick the biggest number, but you do it after you've built your entire formation. This is one where the numbers matter. He does the same kind of buff. It's 100%. It's 100% on each one of these. So it's true. There he goes. There he goes. He took my money. He took my money. Now, it says I have money up there. That's because I picked up the coins that dropped after he ran off with it. So you get your money back real quick, folks. So this is truly just pick the biggest number, but make sure you've built out your formation the way you want it to look. Then choose this. Because it's 100% for whatever. But like the first one is for each Oxventures champion or champion with a magical base attack. And then it's for each Oxventures champion or a champion with Charisma 17. For each Oxventures champion or Dexterity 17. And the last one is just for each unique race in the formation, right? I will tell you, more often than not, befriend everybody is where I end up finding the largest number of things. But your results may vary. Just make sure you're picking the largest number, because that's a multiplicatively stacking bonus. There he goes again. I saw him take my money. And then his ultimate. So Ethel Frith's hammer. This is a Dob technically chaotically good. This is a very morally neutral situation, though. Dob uses the hammer to summon a bunch of skeletons to build a wall that lasts for 20 seconds, dealing damage to enemies in the way. For the duration, evil champions deal 1,000% more damage for reasons best left unsaid. The ultimate only boosts the damage of evil champions, even though they're a chaotic good champion. So just keep that in mind. Otherwise, you're just getting a crowd control effect. Here's what it looks like. Yep. Build that wall. Yeah. He can't look. He can't watch. He's like, no, I can't watch. Yeah. So there you go. That's the ultimate. So I just want to come over here real quick. You can see the stacks of offshore accounting. We're currently at 302. So I'm getting a 3,020% bonus. That's pretty fantastic. What this doesn't tell you is what the cap is, which is information we need. But you can watch your offshore accounting go up and up and up, and know that your money is going to a good home at the bottom of the lake. Item wise, we get a damage all champions item. We get a gold find item. Just straight up gold find. It doesn't even boost offshore accounting because that would have been broken. It's just straight up gold find. We get traveling entertainer. We get the befriend. The befriend is the specialization. So this is a situation where the item is actually buffing your specialization choices. There's ultimate attack damage and ultimate cooldown. And feats, we're going to see similar stuff. Damage all champions. Straight up gold find. We get traveling entertainer. We get befriend again. And here's an offshore accounting. I want a special note on double deposit here. This increases the chance for it to trigger. It doubles the chance for it to trigger. Because it is just a 25% chance. It's going to take it to 50%. So that means half the time you change levels, it's going to trigger. If you can go hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of levels, like if you're in the 500 plus, especially if you're at 1,000 plus, this is not a useful feat. If you're only going 100 levels or 200 levels, this becomes more useful. It's one of those weird scenarios where even though it costs 50,000 gems, or you can get it in a bundle with a cash up purchase, it's actually better for newer players than veterans, because the further you can go, the more chances it's going to trigger and the more chances you're going to cap out. It's not a big deal. But the shorter your runs are, the more you need it. It's an odd feat. So just know what you're getting into if you're going to go for that feat. A little odd. Okay, folks. That's everyone. Yeah, that's everyone. So we're going to take a short break. I don't think I forgot anything. Oh, this pack comes with this Widdle Dark Lord skin. So again, this is the Champions of Renown. It's the Widdle Dark Lord skin that's the skin you get. I want to be clear, even though when you click on Dob, it has him in a bee outfit. That skin is not listed as included in this pack. There's some kind of, it's drawing the wrong image. So everybody else should just be normal. This should be the only skin you get with this pack. The pack's also going to include 16 chests for each champion. And when you have 16 chests, gold chests, you're guaranteed 2 shinies with each one. So that's 10 shinies. So everybody's going to get a lot of stuff out of this. All right, folks. All right, we're going to take a short break. I'm going to come back. We've got we've got a handful of questions already that Martin has grabbed. So I will dive into that when we come back. The song for the break is Happy Valentine's Day.
Life of the party, torn from the grave. She never follows, she won't behave. Tentacles and pearls, she'll tear apart your world. Silvers of the mind, head of mind is frail. Princess fortune pain. Fear is hard, don't blame. She's a nightmare, clad in velvet. Can't escape her in your head. If she wants it, she will take it. Twist your thoughts and cut your thread. Your mind is hers to play. Happy Valentine's Day. Betrayed, beheaded, scars left to hide. She will release the dark inside. Death's not eternal. She's not your friend. You're just a tool, means to an end. For her I can't find a rich terror in your mind. She's a nightmare, not in velvet.
Hey, and we're back. All right, I'm going to start off with questions that are on the topic, and then we will go back and I will grab all the generalized stuff. We don't have a whole lot of questions. If you have questions about anything, folks, anything in the game, now's the time. We got time. There's like over 400 of you watching. Throw your question in chat, and I will assist you because we got another like 50 minutes of the show. And I don't need to do a one-man enactment of anything. So, here we go. Gelatinous Rubik's Cube. Is Nordom a good place to drop item levels, or are they better spent somewhere else? It really kind of depends if you have extras, and you're willing to spend some, like I was, or if you have a lot of Modron cores that need to get maxed out. Need to get maxed out. Yeah. The thing is once you've maxed out your core, then that whole item is wasted. So it's an interesting thing. I really wish they had kind of just wrapped it all up in feats, so you could just slot the feats, and then he had another functional item and ability. But that's not what Nordom looks like. So maybe sometime in the future. I can tell you between combining Nordom, my Nordom with a Briv gem farm formation, I ran my Aroas core from level 7 that it had leveled up in the background slowly to 15 in less than 24 hours. So that bonus, yeah, super nice. Can make things go real quick. I think I could have done the whole core in less than 24 hours with that bonus. But then he just sits, on a shelf for a while. Jacques of Hearts, is Socialite or Trigram feats better for damage on a DPS? It really depends on how many positional formation abilities you have, right? Because some of that stuff, here's the thing, if it's the same, like if they're both 40%, it's probably similar. It's probably similar, but usually you like to feel good and target the things that are larger numbers, so you get what feels like the bigger boost. But yeah, that's what you kind of have to figure out which one on the back end. You can come over here. You can go, hey, show me what I'm getting. Oh, it doesn't. What? Why not? Are you kidding me? All right, never mind. CNE, fix it. There should be a total here. Sandy, why is there no total? I would report this as a bug, personally. There should be a total here telling us how much we're getting. And there's not. I think we have to go to the affected person. Hold on. Do we have a DPS? We don't have a DPS champion in the formation. Hold on. And I don't even have a DPS to person show. Black Viper. Time to shine. Okay. Now maybe it'll... Now it does it. Okay, that's why. I didn't have a DPS in the formation. So you can come over here and you can see this part, right? The bonus is like, like you're getting the boost. I would probably go, like, if they're equal, I would probably go here. Yeah, because it's just boosted by a bit. You're probably going to have to swap and look at your overall damage numbers. That's the easiest way to answer that question. But usually you're going to go for the bigger thing. And if we have a lot of multiplicative stacking, this can... We're already at EO8. We only have 2 stacks. So this can get real big real fast. Which makes me feel like you would go... Tregram, I did see that comment. Makes me feel like you'd go Tregram. It was the next one, Wicked One. Matt asked that Tregram be announced. Tregram, it's not Trigram. It's a hard E sound. Please and thank you, signed fan of BDS. Yeah, unfortunately, I watched like one episode of Black Dice Society, and then it was just one of those too many shows, not enough, too little time type scenarios. So I never got to watch more of it, but heard nothing but good things out of it. So Tregram. Bobby Digi, does DM's gold boost stay if you take the unicorn out of the formation? No. No. Because it's based on them being in the formation. There aren't any. It's a general buff to gold find. It's not a debuff. The only time you can put someone in, and then their gold find bonus sticks around is when they're applying a gold find debuff to an enemy, and it's sticky. There are only a few of those. There are only a few of those situations. Okay, it looks like it looks like I did a fantastic. I'm just going to say, I clearly, I clearly did a fantastic job today because we had very few questions. So I'm going to go back to the top. Nakov, I recently started playing this. Should I be using the Electrum chests as I get them or hoard them for later? If you are a brand new player, pop them chests. Once they hit your inventory, pop them. Pop them open. See what you get. The reason is when you're new, you don't have a lot of gear on champions, and all those chests are going to give you gear, and gear is a good amount of power. Going from no gear to some gear is nice. So use them right away. You're also going to get, some other things with that, and that can help you as you're progressing. But really, it's all about that gear. Once you get all of your champions, specifically those Electrums, once you get all of your champions to like green gear, like it's at least green for silvers and for silver chests and Electrum chests, then you can kind of start hoarding them if you want for when an event drops. But until then, yeah, you're just popping things right away. So yeah. Mean Keb, where did that amazing Idle Champion sweatshirt come from? Oh yeah, I'm rocking the hoodie. I got the hoodie. It's the old school Idle Champions logo. Sadly. So once upon a time, there was a third-party merch website that sold a lot of different clothing things for a lot of different games, and they clearly had an Idle Champions license, physical merch license, or not Idle Champions, a D&D physical merch license, so they could make some Idle Champions physical merch, and they had t-shirts, sweatshirts, they had like a mouse pad. Can't remember if they had anything else. And for the longest time, I was like, oh, I can't pop for that. And then finally, I was like, you know what? I have some money. I'm buying that sweatshirt, even though it's not winter. And then I showed it off on stream. And then like when it finally showed up, and then everyone's like, where can you go? And I went to go look up the website, and they'd been bought by someone else and were no longer selling that stuff. So you can't get this anywhere anymore. It was like for fans by fans or something, and that no longer exists. So I'm currently wearing one of the rarest pieces of Idle Champions merch, because why not? Yeah. I wish it was a thing. Unfortunately, Codename Entertainment only has the digital license to make video games. They don't have a physical license, so they can't make and sell merch. What they can do is make stuff and give it away, which is how you see some t-shirts, like for the Idle Champions Present stuff and things spread around, but they can't sell anything, unfortunately. And they also have they have dice? I don't know. Man, Idle Champions, Codename, I don't know that they've done dice stuff, but they have lately. Maybe they stopped doing the dice? There are Iris. Let's see if this will pop on camera. There's, well, you can kind of tell. This is an Iris D6. That's a pure black one. This is one that's kind of got a multitude of colors, but with a golden iris. It's just not gonna. My camera. There it goes. Yeah. I got a little of those. They used to give those out on streams every now and then. Haven't seen that giveaway in a while. Maybe they ran out. But yeah. Unfortunately, no merch for Idle Champions. DVS Cuban. When opening a time gate, is it beneficial for me to just run through quickly and get through the 3 variants and farm the free play? So you're almost there. Yeah, you want to go through the 2 base adventures and the variant. That's going to get you, like, if it's the first time you've done that time gate for that champion, it's going to get you the champion plus gold chests. The free play, though, is the only way to get anything out of the free play, like chests out of the free play, is for each unique 100 areas you can progress. And if you're newer, you might only get to 100 or 200. Which means you're going to get a chance at 1 or 2 chests total. And it's not necessarily worth all the effort to try. Like, if you can't get it, the second or third one easily, it's not necessarily worth grinding. It's all about grabbing the low-hanging fruit and being efficient. So get in and out as quick as you can, because the favor gains you're going to get from a time gate aren't huge. You're really there for the champion and the gear. Later on, when you have more account power, you'll be able to, grab 4 or 5 or 8 or 10 chests from free play, silvers from free plays. But then by then they're not that super useful. It's a weird counterintuitive thing in time gates, but yeah. Shevik 74 is Briv year 5. No. I want to say Briv was year 4, right? Do I have you 4 in here? Oh no, maybe Briv was year 3? Briv's... I'd have to look on my thing. I think Briv might be year 3. I think Briv's in the one Champions of Renown pack I own, probably. Hold on, I've got this. I can check my list over here. Yeah, Briv was year 3. I got to go to my wiki page on the subreddit. Yeah, Briv was a year 3 champion. So Briv's no longer available in events. Briv is only a time gate champion. Honda Hero asking questions about brand new additions to the game. Please explain when to use the new reset button on the party formation window. So if you haven't seen, this is patched into Steam. I don't know where else it has been populated yet, but now when we go to adventuring parties, there is a reset button. So it's all currently catching up and calculating, but it will be a blue button that you can press. I was actually pressing it on stream yesterday on my channel. So why would you use this? Well, if you had progressed and then run into a wall, it was giving you the red X here, and you're like, oh, that was probably just a mistake. It would probably work fine if I just reset it. Instead of having to switch parties and go over there, you now can just hit the button. And it will automatically switch it. It would automatically run the process and reset it as if it had reached its reset point in the Modron, and run it all over from scratch. I used it yesterday. I did find a scenario where it doesn't work, and that's like if the person you have in this party, or one of the people you have in your save formation here, if you have pulled them into another party and haven't manually gone back to pull them into this one, it locks up. It won't do it. It won't reset because it can't pull that champion back in. But otherwise, yeah, it was working every other time I did it. I've already sent in feedback that I want this button right here on the active party too, so that I don't have to go through the thing of, okay, well, I got to close it, and then I got to skip, and then I got to restart. I just want to be like, look, I want to restart this from fresh. Just let me restart, and there's bam. Hopefully they add that too. TS Forest are using some alternate click damage skin or animation. Yeah, the click damage has skins. It's right over here. That's why it shows the snowball in the bottom left. I'm using the snowball skin. Here's the default. There's water. There's green flame. Yeah, and there's snowball. So these should all be in the gem shop now, except maybe green flame. I know water and snowball are. Water and snowball are. I'm going to come back to that one because that's a... Well, no, I can do that. Sword Razor, question. Why is Briv gem farming better in... this specifically says Vecna Lives, but let's say insert adventure here, than in Mad Wizard. So Mad Wizard, first off, Briv gem farming is a kind of a mid to end game. It's higher level figuring out of how to most optimize the free time where you're just farming gems instead of completing missions. And it is not normal. It is not a normal way of building a formation or selecting an adventure. There are a lot of things that go into deciding that. Mad Wizard is Bebe's first gem farm. That's where everybody goes with their speed champions to farm gems when in your downtime. Because Mad Wizard has the fastest 30 levels in the game. So the first 30 areas of Mad Wizard have these spawners. For regular free plays, have these spawners that make enemies flood out super fast. And when you combine that with speed champions, those first 30 levels are super fast. And then you cycle either to 30 to 80 to 130 to 180, depending on how far you can instant click kill. And you mode on reset. And that's how everybody gets their first taste of that sweet, sweet gem flow. However, when you get to Briv stuff, Briv jumps. If you don't know this, he can literally jump you past levels and bypass things. And when you start doing that, efficiency becomes about consistency and landing on levels that have specific types of enemies, because you're just using... because the only way that Briv can recharge his jumps is by getting attacked. You have to actually go past your instant click kill wall, but it needs to be done in an efficient way so that you're not spending more time recharging his jumps than you saved jumping, right? So people use insert adventure here. In this case, this was Vecna Lives. People use insert other adventure here because those adventures have landing points that are favorable for the formation you're setting up, so that he can bounce, and then slam into a hard wall, get attacked a lot. You clear that level. He's got enough stacks to do that again. It resets, and then bounce, slam into the wall, and repeat over and over and over again. Again, it is there's a lot going on there, but it's very. Once you get there, it's very worth it. Why do I say that? I'm sitting on 1.91 million gems, the bulk of which I earned since the last event. So in 3 weeks. In 3 weeks, not even 3 weeks yet, 2.5 weeks, I've earned over like 1.5 million gems. And that wasn't even me being doing it all the time. Yeah. So that's why it creates an efficiency that just can't be matched. Yeah. Mean Kev, season related. Hey, it's a new season. It's the season of the Flare Hunters. I like to enunciate this as Flare Hunters, because this is season 2 Office Space Flare Hunters. Everybody's looking for their 15 pieces of flare. And the skins almost nail that too. If there were just more pieces of flare on them. Oh god, I can't stop hearing it. Does it seem like the milestone quests were slightly undertuned? Ending week 3 and I have everything finished but tier 7 defeat favored foes, I think, not empowered, and level 10 complete a certain number of areas in a free play. They definitely tuned things to be a lot easier. Like here's mine. And I haven't really tried to churn through them. I have a season 2 farm formation that I turn on at night when I'm going to bed, and I get progress when I'm offline. During the day, gem farming, because why not? But here's the thing. I want to point out. I pointed this out yesterday too. There is far more currency available just by doing the 3 easy daily quests every day than there is in all of this. This is 100 milestone quests, 450 currency per completion. Same 450 currency per completion, but there are 210 potential daily quests. So, I feel like you can just, it's super easy. I feel like they may have, made this maybe a little too easy, except for maybe this one. I think this one's probably correct. By the time I get there, it's slowly building up and it'll be fine. Everything else maybe a little too easy, but that's as an end game player. Newer players might find them really rough, so they've got to find a happy medium. I think this is in a good place for everyone, so I ain't complaining about this so far this season. I haven't had any complaints about these. I think the only complaint I've had is the quest logs. It's finally visible, folks, but it's not counting all of the. It's not listing all the daily quests. I'm skipping it's showing that I only had one on Christmas Day, which may be true, but then one the day after, and then it skips the 30th and the 31st. Those don't exist, so something's weird still with this tracker, but everything is tracking correctly over here. For me, I did miss some daily quests. I missed 2 that I know of. But yeah, I'd say everything's pretty straightforward and easy. And as I was talking about yesterday, this change at the bottom to you only have to claim 40 total rewards to get access to tier 11 is huge. 40 is all of the free-to-play path, yes, but that's fairly straightforward, and you get tons of currency, and then you have tons of currency to spend down here. But you can pick and choose what you want as a pay-to-play person too. As somebody with a season pass, I've only picked item levels and Modron chests. The only time I bought everything was tier 6 to get the holy grail of speed feats for Shandy. I don't know if I'll end up buying everything in every tier or not. I may just focus down here on these 2 things. Yeah, I think overall season 2 is in a much better place. I look forward to seeing season 3, even though we still got 7 weeks left of season 2. I'm looking forward to season 3 because that's when they've got the most iteration done on all of our feedback. So. Greenaz just started playing. Welcome. Is this a game where you have to buy champions, or can you free to play unlock them? Every champion in this game is available at no cash cost to you if you want. All of the content in this game can be completed without spending money. All of it. That being said, obviously the store is full of stuff you could spend money on. Familiars are quality of life, their automation, their skins if you like skins for fun. Obviously there's lots of chests to speed up your progress, but it's more just you're paying to get power faster, but everything is available. Just playing all the champions you can get from either events or time gates, or earning them from things like Hitch is available by signing up for the newsletter. Nerds are in the gem store. So there are no champions that you can't just earn by playing. There's no content that you can't, no adventures or variants that you can't access because there's a paywall. There's none of that. So highly free to play. A lot of us in the community have run free to play accounts and shown that not only can you play free to play, you can play without gear, which is what mainly most people would pay to buy. It's slower, but it's not as slow as you might think. There are people who have far surpassed the power of my account only playing for a year and a half, whereas I've been playing for over 5 years, right? So it's really up to how you want to play, and are you gonna do you feel like you want to support the game with cash or not? There's different ways to do it. Cosmic Neo, haven't used any favor yet. Is it better to save or use early? I'm a new player. Welcome to the game. So favor, when you earn favor, it gets spent in blessings, right? The key here is you want to make sure, this is one of the things in the game that's pretty much nailed, 100%, just works. Enable warnings. Turn it on. And then start buying stuff. You could be discriminate. You could look at things and go, well, I want more of this and I want more of this. But like there's the thing back here where it's like, well, who do I have that qualifies for this or this? These are opposite bonuses and you could only buy from one of these. But generally, once this warning is, once this warning is enabled, hit that buy button until it goes, are you sure? That's a lot. And then go, nope. And then move to the next one and repeat. It's basically, if you got it, spend it as long as warnings are enabled and it lets you spend it. Yeah. So spend it. It's power. It's another form of power. So you just don't want to do it without the warnings enabled, because then it's going to be problematic. T.S. Forrest, do any of Kron's spec choices, these are his cantrips, allow his base attack to qualify for bonuses that buff magic base attack? All of them do. They're all cantrips. They're all magic. So it doesn't show up in the UI correctly, but the moment you've chosen one of his specializations, thus one of his cantrips, his attack, base attack, becomes melee and magical, both at the same time. So he does work with, like, Alcoria in that regard. So, yes, all of them. They're all magic cantrips. Smoking, if you have Freely in, then take him out, then put him back in again, then take him out. Are you doing the hokey pokey? That's not the question, but in my head, that's that's where that went. If you have Freely in, then take him out to get his bonus at the end of the adventure. Do you have to put him back in again? Okay, so we're talking about Adventurous Tale. Adventurous Tale. So Freely has Freely, another member of the Heroes of the Plains, has an ability called Adventurous Tale. For each area completed with Freely in the formation, you gain a bonus to the divine favor you earn when you complete your adventure. You have to put him in early. You have to actually complete levels with him. Like, see, I completed one level with him in to get the bonus. But once you have, like, if you're at your wall and for some reason you want to take him out, you can. He doesn't even have to be in the formation. You have earned your bonus. The bonus will show up here. See, it's already showing up. 809 E20. Even if I take him out, oh no, get away. The bonus is still there because he already earned it. He earned it for your party. So yeah, once he's earned it, you get it. The Mole's Revenge. This is an interesting question. How many hours a day or week do you spend actively playing the game on average? On average is hard to say. I can tell you when I'm streaming the game, I'm actively playing it. When I'm not streaming, I tend to be idling it somehow. So I do a lot of, if I'm working, I'm streaming different games, or I'm working on guides, or I'm doing whatever else, watching streams. It will be on another I have 4 monitors because, streamer life. I will have it on another monitor, and I will have it idling. Obviously, I do lots of jump farming. Doing some kind of automation stuff on another screen. So active is like when I have to check in on it, if I'm going to switch it to something else. If I've decided I'm doing patron, if I'm going to start churning through like patron variants, then I'm just tabbing in and out to it every now and then. It's a very hard to track how much time I actively play it. I mean, there are times when you're actively playing Idle Champions, but for the most part, it is a passive game. Keep in mind, I have a Steam account that's my active account. I've also run a new player account on Epic. I've run like 3 different new player accounts on web back when that was a thing. But just so I don't know my total hours played for this game over 5 years, but just for Steam alone, I have cleared 24,000 played hours. And for people who've been around as long as I have, that's a low number. So, yeah. Jono FM. Hey, Gaar, new to the game. Welcome. Timegate pieces. Yup. Is there a way to obtain these? Sort of. The weekly quest has 5 time gates, but I can't see anywhere to get the pieces other than buying or waiting long enough for the gate to open after playing one. So, time gate pieces up here. This is the time gate symbol. It's the arch. You'll know I have many, because unfortunately I can't give them to you. You earn a time gate piece for killing a boss. A boss will drop a time gate piece. However, once the boss has dropped a time gate piece, there is a client side or a server side timer that prevents you from looting another one for like 5 days. And then there's a chance one will drop off a boss again, and it's an ever-increasing chance every time it doesn't drop, and you're guaranteed to get one within like a day of it coming back up, as long as you're killing bosses. So once every 5-ish days, you're going to earn a piece as a new player. Later on, there are blessings that can like there's a blessing that will double that to 2, but as a new player, you're nowhere near getting that. And then as you unlock patrons, each of them will sell you 1 time gate piece a week. But again, as a new player, that's not helpful. So right now, the way that you're going to do this season quest, and the way I'm going to do this season quest, complete 5 time gate adventures, is you're going to come over here and, hey, it's a natural time gate weekend. Free time gate weekend. Woo! So you can choose one of these 3 at the top that's free and open a time gate for one of them. We can help you figure out which one. You just tell us which 3 are options, are the options for you, and how many champions you have in each of those slots. It'll show you down below. And we'll give you a recommendation. But you do one of these, that's going to get you 3 adventures completed, because there's 2 adventures and a variant. That all counts. I don't believe the free plays count. And in 3 weeks from now, there's going to be another natural time gate weekend. The season will still be running, and you could get it. You could get the rest of your time gate plays from that. You don't have to open a manual one. That being said, once you have 3 pieces, you can open a manual time gate for any of the flare hunters. So here's a Baldur's Gate that are on the season. There's 5 of them, and do it that way too. But you're gonna gain these passively. Time gate pieces are gained passively from the game. Exception. There's an exception to every rule. Exception is occasionally you will get something called a wild offer, like I have here. And as part of a wild offer, it may include time gate pieces. So if you're somebody who supports the game financially, you can potentially build up time gate pieces this way. Also, as part of the reward system for Flare Hunters, Tier 1 and Tier 2 both have 6 time gate pieces for only 1,000 currency. What a deal, folks. So there's ways to get time gate pieces early on. You just have to earn enough currency and XP to get these tiers unlocked, and then you can grab some time gate pieces from the first 2. These specifically exist so that you can purchase all of the... or try to purchase all. You'll at least get 4 of the Heroes of Baldur's Gate that are part of the Flare Hunters. There were some free promo codes for those as well at one point. I don't know if those are still active. Yeah, so there you go. No. What are your thoughts on Season 2 compared to Season 1? I think I already gave these. In regards to the both chosen the champions and the rewards, I mean, I think everything is improved. I like the changes to the champions overall. I think everybody just got better. I know people were a little upsetty spaghetti about the Minsk change, but then we quickly found a new Briv Gem Farm champion in Neris, and things are all back on track. So I think overall it's great. I think Kreidel becoming a tank is fantastic. I used him to clear tier 10 of trials as a tank combo with Briv. I think the Briv Kreidel 2-tank frontline is a fantastic combination. Try it out if you've got those champions. Jaheira is just a beast now. Not only is her favorite foe a beast, she is her own favorite foe because she's a beast. She was a tier 1 DPS in my opinion already. And now with the move to slot 9 over here, she can be used with Baloth, and she's just even stronger. Again, she was my tier 10 trials DPS. So yeah, I think overall Shandy got even more. Shandy's the hero of Baldur's Gate. That's what the song says, and now she is too because her speed is just incredible now, and her explosive arrows got just the best buff possible. So she is competitive now in her slot for buffing as well. Smoking one. What processor video card do you have running 4 monitors? It's a hold on. Once I put research into buying stuff, and then once I buy it, I forget everything because I don't need to remember anymore. This doesn't tell me. It's a GeForce 30 something. I want to say 3070. Maybe the TI. I don't remember. Hold on. Does it tell me anywhere in here? I'm trying to look at my. Yeah. Oh, there we go. NVIDIA GeForce RTX 3080 Ti. Okay. There we go. Weisbrod, it looks like your champion list on the bottom is skinnier than mine. Yeah. I have it on a workout plan. Is there a setting or add-on you're using? No, it's a setting. Skinny bench boxes in the setting. It's under interface. Narrow bench boxes. There we go. Narrow bench boxes. If I turn it off, it gets big and wide. If I turn it on, they get nice and skinny. It's so that you can fit all 12 bench slots on the screen at one time. Yeah, you can also turn these are the OG portraits. You can also there's a setting for console UI. These are the creepy. This is the default. I consider it the creepy UI because they're all staring at me and judging me while I play, and I can't. Look, I judge myself enough on a daily basis. I don't need them judging me too. Lucas is, are the developers able to transfer an account to another platform? Not usually. It takes a extreme situation to transfer, because there's a lot of rules from platforms about allowing whether they will allow you to transfer an account and under what circumstances. And they have to be able to dot their I's and cross their T's. So not usually. If there's a major problem, you can submit a ticket and talk to them about it. But yeah, not usually. Usually you're locked into whatever you started on. Smoking Xeraphon. Yes. Just unlocked them. They, them pronouns. They're non-binary. And have never heard anything about this champion. Is there anything of value in this champion? Yeah. They're just unusual. Because... Oh, where are they? There they are. Xeraphon is a bit unusual because of a couple parts of their functionality. One... they don't really do anything. Like once they're actually active, they're a doppelganger and they will turn into an enemy that's on the screen. When they turn into that enemy, they buff your party by an amount that varies. But they ramp up their effectiveness based off how many times they can trigger their ultimate. You'll note 600-second cooldown, but this reduces based off specializations. So the more you match, like the larger the number on the bottom, the more time it takes off the ultimate. So when you start leveling them up, you're picking the larger numbers. You got to do this again after you've built your formation. And as we pick these large numbers, if we go over here, we'll see the cooldown has dropped. So part of it is building a good formation, and then they have to be in a very long time. You know, so they're great for deep runs, like 1,000 plus, where they're in a lot, and you're able to spam their ultimate. Or hey, remember, Dungeon Master, I can pop this, and then I can pop this, and then I can pop this again. So putting familiars on like these two will get you basically double credit as you go along. Hey, look, they changed. I don't know what that is, but it's cool. So yeah, and they basically buff your party based off that. And the more they hit that ultimate, the more they're going to buff the party. So they are this ramping support champion. And a lot of people really don't like having to ramp a champion up. So you don't hear a lot about them, but I have used them in a lot of places where I'm like, okay, I know I will run a variant. I'll see I don't have a lot of options. Xeraphon, throw Xeraphon in early, set them up with my group, let them ramp up, and they, you know, they're good. But a lot of people feel like, well, I have to build this formation that's going to maximize the cooldown reduction timer first, and then I have to max their stacks, and then I have to switch it on. And you don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. People just do. People sometimes over-optimize themselves out of enjoying things. Yeah. Freeman 129. Regarding Neris and Briv Gem Farm, yeah. Do you have a guide for that or a VOD? No, I don't. I'm not the keeper of those guides. I did it on stream. Maybe wasn't this? I don't think it was this past Monday. Maybe the Monday before. There's another streamer, Lediath. If you see Lediath streaming, you can talk to them about it. They're the ones that I watched to see the new hotness with the Neris and Briv combo in Vecna Lives. It's also in Excavating History in Barovia. You could do it there too. Yeah. So yeah, it's a different thing. It's similar mechanics. You're just using Neris as your break, instead of Minsk. Neris's favored foe is undead, so you're breaking when it switches from undead to regular. And in like Vecna Lives, there's like only one level or something that has non-undead in the jump pattern. Yeah. Ethan Norland, question: what is the best method for getting sprint stacks for Briv? You push deep enough where they're taking damage. That's it. There's nothing fancy about it. They just have to take damage. So yeah, I mean, if we're talking Briv Gem Farm, it's all about tuning. It's all about fine tuning that landing, that break the wall level. If you're talking about general usage, you have to actually be taking damage for them. So if you're doing quick runs through patron stuff and you're using Briv to try to make it faster, but you're never getting to a point where Briv's actually taking any damage, then the Briv's speed effect is going to run out and you're not going to be able to recharge it. Briv is only a speed champion if you're doing deep runs where they're taking damage. Otherwise, their speed effect is not sustainable. You have to use other champions. That's why Mad Wizard early on, Briv isn't a Mad Wizard gem farmer, because you're using other champions, because Briv isn't reliable there. Sleepy Cow, what are your thoughts on the best tier 11 repeatable rewards for the season? I figured scales or Modron chests, but I'm not sure how to weigh the two against each other. You're asking the same question I am. So by the time you get down to tier 10, here's the thing. These three here are the free-to-play path. You can't tell because I bought the season pass, but these three are the free-to-play rewards. Out of these three, this pack is the best one to buy repeatedly. Because you're getting, not only you're getting item levels on blacksmithing contracts, you're getting bounty contracts, which converts into item levels for the new champions when they arrive in an event. So it's all about item levels. This is the free-to-play buy. This exists if you've got 2,000 tokens left instead of 2,500 at the end. And this is if you've got 1,000 tokens left. There's nothing if you have less than 1,000 tokens, unfortunately. But this would be the churn on the free-to-play path. On the season pass path, it's going to be one of these two. It's hard for me to value scales because the legendary forge currently is in a not great place. It's supposed to be getting updates. If I understood their vagaries well enough on Dev Insights this week, we may hear about what changes are actually coming to the forge on Dev Insights on Thursday the 19th of this month. And we may see a patch shortly after that. I don't know. There seemed to be some... It was a little too vague for me to know exactly what's happening. So we may hear more about what's going on in a couple weeks. That will allow everyone to determine what the value is in 2,000 scales. Right now, it's hard to say. Right now, 2,000 scales, because of the way the timer works, you're only really... Most people wait for the timer to tick down to 1111 or lower on the cost to create a new legendary, and you're using all your excess to upgrade them. So it could get you upgrades, but does it get you new legendaries? After they patch the forge, it might get you more legendaries, which in this case, which could make this wildly valuable. But for people who still need Modron pipes, who are still trying to even just get full epic on their cores, Modron chests, super valuable. Super valuable. So it is one of these two things. I just don't know which. This is no. One of these. This is no. It's one of these two things. It's one of these two things. But we don't really... There's no way. We don't have the full picture yet to know which is going to be better. Okay, last thing. I'm going to do this last, and then we're out of here. The song we're going to go out on is A Whittle Bit Evil. I bet you can guess where that's coming from. For these songs, I saw someone ask earlier, and chat answered, where do these songs come from? These are all from Bardic Inspiration, a show that's not currently active on the CNA Games channel, but hopefully will return, where we as chat helped create actual songs with the bard, Jason Charles Miller, and the scribe, Dylan Wilkes. Yeah. And they're great. I have a guide to Bardic Inspiration on the subreddit. You should check it out. There's a lot of cool music. And that's how we got the jukebox. All of these songs in the jukebox were created on that show by players like you and me. Okay, last question. Mean Keb, would you mind showing your current Briv gem farm formation? Any hints on which characters you consider mandatory? Sure. Let me throw in this. And we'll go here. And I will get out of this. And I will get out of this. Okay. Sword Coast. Vecna lives. That's where I'm going because there's lots of undead. It's going to be a shocker, folks, but here we go. That's not it. Okay. I forgot. I had it saved to my my Season 2 farm from overnight farming. I told you, when I go to bed every night, I turn my client off, turn my computer off, and I set it to Season Farm. So I hadn't set my thing yet. All right, now here we go. Indeed, I am shockered. Yes, it was shocking to me too. Boom, there it is. This is my formation. This is literally what I do. I even keep it on upgrade and not X100 for reasons. I do have a 4 skip Briv, so I'm moving from 1 to 6 to 11 to 16 consistently. Let me go double check my core. Yes, this is my core. All I have lit up, literally, the 2 speed component, the 2 speed functions that are used. And then the 2 health things just for survivability. I use nothing else whatsoever out of the fast core. That gets me everything that I need. I don't even use a full formation. And I don't even have Virgil buffing anyone. Because the reality is it's all about getting to 601, stopping, and not killing things until I have enough stacks, and then it clears. And if I have a full formation, or even if I don't have a full formation, if I just move Virgil up and Virgil is buffing anyone, I kill things on 601 too fast. So I don't have enough stacks, and then it's a much less efficient progress to 651. So this is my most efficient gem farm. Follow-up question, because we're here and I've got a moment. What does Virgil do in this formation? Virgil gives me double credit with rapid fire. Double credit for every quest requirement. So twice makes it clear twice as fast. That's it, folks. That's how I earn, and I'm going to leave it like this because it's going to run gems for me for the rest of the day while I play other games over on my stream, folks. After this, in about an hour-ish after this stream, you can hang out with me over on my channel, twitch.tv/Gaarawarr, and I'm going to be playing Final Fantasy V. I'm on the final boss of the game, and I honestly don't even know if I can beat it. We're going to beat my head against it repeatedly today until either we beat it or I give up and I cry and I uninstall the game. That's what's going to happen. So come join me for that fun in about an hour. Thank you, everybody, for stopping by. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, or I will see you in chat. Bye, everybody.
Let's give it a shot.
Okay. Let's do it. This could be it.
She's a little bit evil, a little bit good. She's a little bit sneaky, little misunderstood. Running away from her crimes like a spider she climbs. She's a little bit hero, a little bit villain too. She's a little bit scary, but way faster than you. No matter where you run, she'll be there pointing a gun. She's a tinker and a thinker, a wizard with her tools, a widow of an evil, and she suffers no fools. She's a little bit devil, dread domains woe, very quick on her feet while misleading her foes. But after the vampire's attack, her heart was turned blind. She stepped out of time and stole the devil's rod. Then she dropped her to rest on top of a god. She saved a friend with a pack. Now there's no turning back. She's a tinker and a thinker, a wizard with her tools, a widow of the evil, and she suffers no fools. She's a hound in the night, and a tempest vine. For a friend she will find.
It's so good. I'm so happy with it.
It feels good.